Hi viewers, how are you all? So myself Nagappa, you are watching Appa Chemistry classes. Now our today's topic is Faraday's laws. So what is meant by Faraday's laws? What are the different Faraday first law and Faraday's second law? And related problems we are going to discuss now today's class. In the last class, we had seen complete electrolysis. What are the products formed at electrolysis, respective electrodes, and we had seen the preferential potential discharge theory, and also in presence of active electrode what type of electrolysis takes place, so how the electrolysis reactions are takes place at respective electrodes. Those all we had seen. So those who not watched till now the previous video, that is part 6, you can go and watch once part 6, then you watch this one, then you will understand in a better way. So because the Faraday's laws mainly depends on the electrolysis concept only. So here we're coming to the class, that is Faraday's laws. So till now those who not subscribed, please do subscribe for more videos. Daily you will get one video, in that no doubt. So let's get into the video. Now Faraday's laws. So Michael Faraday is a scientist. He want to give the quantitative relation between the quantity of electric charge which we are passing through the electrolytic solution and the amount of electrolyte which is deposited at the electrode. To give that relation, he proposed these Faraday's laws. So he proposed two laws, Faraday first law, Faraday second law. So first we are going to see the Faraday first law. So according to this Faraday first law, how you define means the amount of substance or the amount of electrolyte or the weight of electrolyte which is deposited at the electrode is directly proportional to the quantity of electric charge which we are passing through the electrolytic solution. Is called what? Faraday's first law. Okay na? So the amount or the weight of substance deposited at the electrode is directly proportional to weight. Weight is what? W. Is directly proportional to quantity of electric charge passing through the electrolytic solution. That quantity of electric charge I am taking as what? Q. Q is what? It is a charge. So from this W is equal to what happens? Z into Q. So what is Z here? It is a proportionality constant. Z is what? Proportionality constant. So which only depends on the nature of electrolyte. It does not depend on the amount of electrolyte which is deposited or charge. It only depends on the what? Nature of electrolyte. So it is also called electrochemical equivalent. It is also called electrochemical equivalent. So now this electrochemical equivalent is related with equivalent weight as Z is equal to E by F. So this we are going to see in the Faraday's second law. Now E is what here? Equivalent weight. F is what? Faraday constant. That I will explain later. Now we know that what here? Q is nothing but electric charge. How you are getting electric charge? Current in amperes into time in second. Okay na? So then we are going to get electric charge. Now I am going to substitute there. W is equal to Z into C into T. Now C is what here? C is what? Current in amperes. So T is what? Time in seconds. Okay. So now you see here how we can define this electrochemical equivalent. You see, electrochemical equivalent is equal to the weight of substance, weight of the electrolyte which is deposited at the respective electrode when 1 ampere of current is passed for 1 second, or simply the electrochemical equivalent is equal to the weight of substance deposited at the electrode when 1 coulomb of electric charge is passed. So Q is what? Charge in coulombs. Okay na? So how you will get coulombs? Ampere second is nothing but what? Coulombs. Is that clear? So that is the definition of electrochemical equivalent. Now what are the units of this electrochemical equivalent? Units of Z. So in some books they will give the Z and in some books E. So whatever it may be, the term. Okay na? So So here units of Z will be what happens? Gram per coulomb, because Faraday will be what? It is a charge, that is gram per coulomb. So now it is only depends on the what? Nature of electrolyte. Now it does not depend on the quantity of current, time and weight of electrolyte which is deposited. It only depends on the nature of electrolyte. Now from this, in place of Z you can substitute that value Z. So E into C into T by F. So from this what you can write? So W is equal to equivalent weight. How you will get? So atomic mass of an element which is deposited at the electrode by valency. Okay na? So then M into C into T by N into F. So this is the formula to calculate the amount of electrolyte which is deposited at the electrode, or weight of electrolyte which is deposited at the electrode. What is M here? M is nothing but atomic weight. M is what here? Atomic weight of the element which is deposited at the electrode. N is what? Valency. Valency of an element which is deposited. So F is what? Faraday constant. F is what? Faraday constant. Faraday constant. So C is current. T is what? Time in seconds. Time in seconds. This is what? Faraday's laws. Faraday first law. Okay. Yes, Faraday's first law's problem. Now you see here, current of 0.25 ampere is passed through the copper sulfate solution for 45 minutes. Calculate the mass of copper deposited on the cathode. If you want to calculate mass of electrolyte, so what is the formula you know? So it is M into C into T by N into F. Okay na? So now first you write the what are the data they given. So first they given the current, that is 0.25 amperes, and time they given, so 45 minutes. So you have to convert into coulombs, that is in seconds you have to take, that is 45 into 60 seconds, 45 into 60, then it becomes a seconds. Now you have the what is passed through the atomic weight, that is atomic weight is how much they given? 63 of copper. Now valency of copper will be what? We know that 2, because by doing the electrolysis of copper sulfate, what happens? It gains the electrons and it will deposit as what? Copper metal. Its valency is 2. 2 electrons it is gaining. So N is equal to 2. Now still what they given? That's only. So we know that what? F is what? Faraday constant, 96,500 coulomb. You substitute all those values, you will get the answer. M is what? 63. So current is 0.25. So time is 45 into 60 by N is how much? 2 into Faraday constant 96,500. So 0 0 get cancelled. Okay na? So 5 table you cancel it. Okay na? So you cancel those all, then you will get the weight is how much? 0.224 grams you will get. That is the weight of copper deposited when you are passing 0.25 ampere of current is passed through the copper sulfate solution for 45 minutes. You will get the water 0.224 gram of weight of copper. Now a current of 10 ampere is passed through the molten aluminum chloride for 96.5 seconds. Time is how much? 96.5 seconds. Calculate the mass of aluminum deposited at the cathode. Calculate the mass of aluminum deposited at the cathode. Weight they are asking to calculate. What is the atomic weight of aluminum here? 27. So whenever the aluminum is undergoing electrolysis, it is depositing at the cathode. By gaining of 3 electron, it deposits as what? Aluminum. So here N is equal to what? 3. So N is equal to 3. Okay. So we know all the values. Substitute in the formula. So W is equal to M into C into T by N into F. So M is what here? 27 into current is how much? 10. Okay na? So into time is how much? 96.5 seconds whole by N is 3, 96,500 coulombs. So this 0 get cancelled. Okay na? So it is 965 into 10 power minus 1 you write. then it is how many times? It will be 10 times. So it will go up 10 power minus 2 it is. So it get cancelled, that is 9 times. 9 into 10 power minus 2 is nothing but 9 into 10 power minus 2, that is nothing but 0.09 grams of aluminium we are getting. When 10 ampere of current is passed through the molten AlCl3 for 96.5 seconds, then we are getting that value of aluminium we are getting. Now we are going to see this one. Calculate the current in amperes. They are asking to calculate current required to liberate 10 grams of silver. They given the weight of silver. Weight of silver is how much? 10 grams. Of electrically in 2 hours. Time is how much they given? 2 hours. That is 2 into 60 if you do, you will get minutes. Again one more time 60, you will get the in seconds. Okay na? So after that what? Silver. What is the atomic weight of silver here? Silver atomic weight is 108. Now whenever it is doing the electrolysis, silver plus will gain the 1 electron and will deposit as what? Silver metal. N is equal to 1 here. So N is equal to 1. So substitute in the formula. W is equal to M into C into T by N into F. Okay na? So W is how much? 10 is equal to M is what? 108 into C into 2 into 60 into 60 by N is how much? 1 into 96500. That is Faraday constant. 2 zeros get cancelled. If you do this all, so you will get the current. So current you will get as how much it is? 1.24 amperes. If you do that calculation, you will get the current as 1.24 amperes. Is that clear? So that is an important one. So this all I am explaining based on formula. Without knowing the formula also we can do. So that I will explain after discussion of Faraday's second law. Okay na? So now first we will see this last question. So fourth question, that is what they given. An oxide of metal contains 12.5% of oxygen by weight. So that oxide of metal atomic weight is how much? That metal oxide will have the what? 112 atomic weight, molecular weight. Contain 12.5% of oxygen by weight. What mass of the metal will be liberated when the oxide is converted to chloride with HCl? Oxide react with that HCl and converted to chloride and electrolyzed using a current of 9.65. So current is what? 9.65 amperes and time is what? 30 minutes. 30 into 60 seconds. So still what they given? That's it they given. So we need to know the what? Equivalent weight we know. We should know. So how will get equivalent weight? Here in metal oxide, always metal and oxide in any compound, they will combine in their equivalent ratio. That is equivalent weight of oxygen must be equal to equivalent weight of metal. Equivalent weight of metal. That is equivalent weight of oxygen. How you will get? Percentage of oxygen by mass they given 12.5 by its atomic mass you have to multiply. That is its atomic mass of the oxygen atom. That is 16 is equal to equivalent weight of metal is how you will get? Equivalent weight of metal, that is we have no. So equivalent weight we don't know by yes. So here percentage of oxygen is how much they given? Percentage of oxygen is 12.5. So percentage of metal will be what happens? 87.5. Now equivalent weight of oxygen is 12.5 by equivalent weight of oxygen is 8 is equal to, so percentage of metal will be what, 87.5 by equivalent weight of metal we don't know. You calculate that equivalent weight. How much you will get by multiplying this one? That is 8 into 87.5 by 12.5. Okay na? So by doing this you will get the equivalent weight as 56. Okay na? By doing that, so you know the equivalent weight, current, time, okay, Faraday constant, you can calculate the weight. So that is weight is equal to what happens? That is E into C into T by F. Okay, so E is what, 56, current is what, 9.65, time is what, 30 into 60 by 96500. 96500, 00 get cancelled. So 9.65, it is 10 power minus 2. So one time 10 power minus 2. So you multiply that, you will get the weight as, that is 10.08 grams you will get. How much? 10.08 grams. That is the weight of metal which is deposited. I can calculate the valency of metal also. How will you calculate the valency of metal? Valency of metal. How you are going to calculate? You know the what, equivalent weight is equal to atomic mass by valency. Okay na? So from this valency is equal to what happens? Atomic mass by equivalent weight. We got the equivalent weight of metal. So equivalent weight of metal is how much? 56. What is the molecular weight of that metal here? 112. So then its valency will be what happens? N is equal to 2 times. That is valency of metal will be what, 2. Is that clear? So this is what Faraday's first law. Next you have Faraday's second law, which is very very important. After that Faraday's second law, we have so many number of problems we can do in easy manner. Without knowing this formula also we can solve this type of questions without knowing the formula also. Okay na? So when the data will be there, based on that data we can do number of questions. Is that clear? Thank you. Keep watching for the next Faraday's second law.